Hi guys, join me today as we make a cool, cozy fall watercolor cat.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, this is gonna be such a fun project. I'll show you the supplies that we're gonna need for this one. Okay guys, for today we're gonna use this grabby watercolor kit. I cannot wait to show it to you. We use this all the time in the studio. It is amazing. So whether you have this set or you have your own watercolor set, it doesn't have to be fussy. Whatever you have supplied, you can use that for this session. We're gonna need 2 sheets of watercolor paper. I have 2 little cotton balls and a pipe cleaner for an element at the end. I'll show you that. We're gonna need our Bic pen, our pencil, our Sharpie markers, and an eraser. We're gonna use these fastener dots. You can get these at your local dollar store. I'm always keeping watch on whether they have them in stock because we always keep these in the studio and use them often. You're gonna need a paintbrush, a watercolor cup for your watercolors, a paper towel. We're gonna use a glue gun at the end just to add on the elements. And then I'm gonna use the Just Art paint markers here too. I also have this little Copic. It's a liquid paint, almost like a nail polish. We might use this for some little additional elements at the end. All right, you guys, let's get started. Okay guys, so what we're doing today is we're gonna create a wintry scene. The thought is a cozy, cool cat in fall sipping on a nice hot pumpkin spice latte. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to draw the cat. Remember to keep your lines very light. That way if you wanna make any adjustments, we can do that. And also, once we get it drawn and painted, remember you can always take your Bic pen and your Sharpie to add little details in first. So don't worry about being too fussy on all the details. We're gonna really work on that toward the end. So this cat is gonna be super cute. I want him to have eyeglasses. We're gonna do the hands of the cat separately, which is what these little cotton balls for. My thought is that we'll make little arms for the cat and make it look like the coffee cup and his arms are really coming out of the piece. So we'll do those in just a second. So let's get started drawing the cat. So what we wanna do is toward the top of the page, we just wanna do the top of his head. So we're gonna draw that in, just a little curved line, and we're gonna draw the cat's ears. So it's gonna be a triangle shape on either side, and you can make your cat as skinny or as chubby as you like. I like the idea of a little chubby cat in the winter time, so I'm gonna make mine a little bit more chubby. So below the ears, I'm gonna do 2 curved lines here that are gonna be the sides of his face. And outside of that, I'm gonna do a line across here because I want to make my cat look like it's wearing a scarf or sweater. So you can just, maybe on one side, make a little knot for a scarf and connect it to the other side. And in that, we can create like a cute little design. And down here, you can do 2 lines with a little line connecting them that kind of makes the bottom part of the scarf. You can even do that more than once if you want to. There we can add little lines that go down to just create his little wintry look. From there, all we're gonna do is do 2 lines going down on either side for our cat. That just gives us the body shape. In the background, we can decide how wintry we wanna look, how fall we wanna look. You can always make like a little horizon line that shows the ground around him in the sky. We can draw leaves. We'll do that in just a second. But let's start drawing his face in. Okay, so for the nose of the cat, what we're gonna do is just do a short little line, and we're just gonna kind of do an upside down triangle. It's gonna make its nose. And if we want to make the mouth, we don't have to be too fussy over the mouth. You can just kind of draw 2 lines from there. If you want them to curve up a little bit to make it look a little bit more friendly, you can just curve those lines there. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight or anything. We'll get a look of a cute cat either way we do it. Okay, so for the eyes, what I want to do is I want to make 2 circles. One on this side, one on this side. That's gonna give us our eyes for our cat. And inside there, we can do 2 more circles. for the black part of the eye. And what I like to do is add another circle for the white part of the eye. So I'm going to add those circles in and then just erase the line that we cross over here. And then I'll add some little eyelashes there, maybe a few down there, a few up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the inside part of the cat's ear, which is another little triangle shape. All right, so inside my design for my scarf, I'm gonna decide what kind of pattern I wanna choose. Usually in fall, it makes me think of a little checkered pattern or a cross stitch pattern. So I'm just gonna add some stripes first, and I'm just kind of leaning them in as I go around my drawing. And then I'll add maybe 2 more lines to give me that checkered look. Gonna do this in the bottom part of my scarf on one side, and then see how I'm following the lines down in whatever direction my little drawing is facing. So I'm trying to match that on all of these. Okay, and in the circle we can even do this again, but kind of give it a little curved look. So it just makes her scarf look like it has some movement to it, however you're going. All right, and don't worry about the pumpkin spice latte yet, because we're gonna draw that on a separate sheet of paper. We just wanna get her drawn and put the characteristics in her that we want, and then we'll go to that second piece. And okay, so on our cat, we can just go ahead and add some little whisker elements here and to the side. We'll build those in. And then in the background, I might just add a few fall leaves, almost like they're falling to the ground around her. So to do that, we can do almost like a W shape with some triangles to the top. Do you see that? How it makes little things? So that's one leaf, and we can put a little stem on the bottom. And over here, I might do another one with another W shape with some triangles on top. Do another leaf. Maybe here I might do a little bumpy leaf. And down here too, do another one. And remember, anything that you draw over a line, if you want to make it look like it's in the forefront, you just need to go back and erase the line you've drawn over. I might do one more. This one I'm going to do an upside down W with the triangles to kind of make it look like it's falling that way. Okay, so what we're gonna do in our drawing is we're gonna do 2 lines inside so we can put her little paws, and we'll connect them in just a second. I also want to make a little area around her face that's a different color than the rest of her. And I'll continue that on the bottom. Okay, so on your smaller sheet of paper, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4 lines here with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's gonna be the paws of your kitten. And you can even add, if you want to, the claws. And then on the other side of the piece of paper, we're gonna do a thin rectangle with 2 lines that kind of start coming into each other, with a line connecting them at the bottom. This is gonna be our cute little coffee cup. And we're gonna do a swirl on the top to show the steam. And then inside the cup, we're gonna do a little curved line that comes around, almost like a ball shape, and then we're gonna do a few bumps on the bottom, and then that will be our pumpkin. All right, so now that we have our drawing together, we're gonna start our watercolor process. So I have an extra sheet of paper here where you can test out your colors. I have my new Grabby watercolor set, and then I have one that's well used that we use in the studio. Okay, so with watercolor, watercolor is your friend. It is very easy to use, and the water is the vehicle that gets it to where we want it to be. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our brush and we're gonna dip into the color. So whether you have an extensive watercolor set with all these colors or you have a small one, don't worry, you can use what you have. Remember, art doesn't have to be fussy. So I have both my sheets of paper close by because when I'm using one color, I want to paint here and also on my other sheet of paper too. So what I'm gonna do is start layering that color in around my cat. So I'm gonna just start painting. Just make sure you don't use too much water. And if you do put too much water, it's okay. All you have to do is kind of do what I'm doing and just move your water around. And do you see how it just kind of, the more you move it around, the more water you put, it just, the color saturation just gets a little bit lighter. So we're just going to move that color all the way around. And then we're going to do it again on this side. We're just going to color all the areas that we want this orange color to be. We'll let the color be a little bit lighter on her belly. And then what I'm also going to do while I have this orange is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to color her paws. I'm also going to color my pumpkin. Anywhere where I want that orange to be. I'm going to come in some of these leaves. Okay. And you can make your cat any color you want it to be. I'm gonna dip into a little bit more of a brown color. Well, actually, that's a deeper orange. And I'm just gonna bring that shading just here and there throughout my piece of art. This color and just get a little bit around these lighter spots in my cat. Okay. So if you want to, you can take a little bit of this black. Be careful not to add too much color to your black, because black is not very friendly. It doesn't play nice sometimes when you're doing art pieces. It can make it hard if you put too much of it. But I'm just going to take a little bit of this black and I'm going to add it to her eyes. And remember, when you're painting, you're kind of just painting in stages. While one area is drying, you can leave it be and then move to another area of your piece of art. So I might want to go into this light blue here because I want to kind of just create a little scene around her. So I'm just going to go around her and just add some blue sky. And remember, you can always dilute that color out and move it around your piece of art. Don't worry about crisscrossing your lines or going over them too much, because remember, we can take our Sharpies and we can go back and add the little details in. All right. So I have my little backgrounds there. I think I want to go into another darker brown color. Use this palette over here and just put this at the base of my drawing. Okay. So now that I have my color in here, I'm going to go into this pink a little bit, and I'm going to color in her nose. Also going to color in the insides of her ears. Okay. Let me add stripes there. Okay, so now I want to pick my color for my scarf. I might just go into some green here. I'm just gonna paint in all my squares. All right, then I'm gonna do a complementary color to that. So let's see, I might want to go into maybe this brown here. All right, well, I have that darker brown. I'm gonna go back over my leaves, just add another little pop of color to them. You can even use that to go over your stems. Even dip into some yellow for these other leaves to make a little pop of color. You know, that just kind of brightens those up. Add a little bit more orange to my paws. And the pumpkin. Okay, so on your pumpkin spice cup, an easy way to kind of leave something that would normally be white would be just to take a little bit of gray and just outline it a little bit. Just like that. We can dip into our black here. And just make the top of the cup black. There we go. I'm gonna dip a little bit into this deeper blue. Just in a few places, add that color in. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna go back to my deep brown and just kind of shade in this ground a little bit. I think I might take some of that deeper brown and just add some little stripes on my cap. Just here and there. Along the sides. You can even add some of that coloration on your paws here. Okay, all right, you guys, we're gonna let our watercolor dry just a little bit, and then we're gonna come back and add the outlines and the little details. Okay guys, before we start outlining, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Just Art acrylic markers and I'm just gonna add a few extra elements to my leaves and a little bit more of a pop of color, and then we'll start outlining. So I'm gonna take this yellow and I'm just gonna go over my leaves. That one's still a little wet. I'll go over here and just add the little veins to my leaves. And then here and there in places around my cat, I'm just gonna add just a little bit of color. Let's see. Okay, you can see that one a little bit better. Go over some places in my scarf. Turn this to the side, you can see it better. These guys, just gonna do 3 lines with some little veins just going here and there. Same with up here. I'm just adding some little extra color. Go over the pink in her nose and in her ear. Okay, so around her eyes I want a little pop of color too. So I'm just gonna take this marker and just add a little bit extra color to her eye. Also may go over this spot. And maybe around the outer edge of the sky. I love the wintry scene. It makes me like want it to be colder outside. Go back over these. Remember, art is a lot about experimenting. So you can see here how I chose some colors and I wasn't quite happy with how bright they were popping out. So I just keep experimenting until I get the look that I want, even if I'm going over my piece of art several times. Okay, so I kind of like how this looks. Just a little pop of this yellow to these paws. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get my big pen, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over my drawing. And if you watch my videos enough, you know that we do this a lot at the studio. We're actually going to do this again, just here and there in places with our Sharpie too. I'm going to take this lighter color and just add a little bit of definition to my cup here. And go over this swirl. Gonna go over a pumpkin. Okay. All right, so there are those two. And now we're just gonna go through and trace over our drawing with all of our little elements. So I'm going to do that and then I'll come back. Okay. All right, so now we have our drawing outline. What we can do if you want to add a little more fur elements, then what we can do is we can just go here and there and just add little lines with your pen. Just kind of make her look a little bit more furry. And just add a little bit extra cuteness to her. And same on the little paws if you want to. Okay, so now that I have her outlined, what I'm going to do is take my extra Sharpie and I'm just going to go through and here and there I'm just going to add a little bit of a darker line. Also on her whiskers. Down the side of her. This cute little middle area. Just here and there. You don't have to like retrace everything. You can just pick a few little lines here and there. I'm gonna go over the little scarf lines. And then I'm just gonna do the horizon line on both sides. Maybe the stems of the leaves. And then just here and there, in and around those. All right, let me do that here. Gonna go over her little claws. And then on our coffee cup, maybe inside her swirl. All right. Do a good look over to see if there's anything else. Okay. So this is how she looks now. How cute is that? And then her little elements. So let's go ahead and we'll start cutting those out and we'll start building our little elements in. Just remember when you're cutting it out, you don't have to go perfectly close to everything. You can kind of still get the sense and just cut around everything. So we've got one little paw ready there. These paws are so cute. Okay. One paw ready here. Let me turn my glue gun on to get it ready. I was gonna cut these slits, but I think what I'm gonna do is just bend my little paws here. And I'm gonna take my glue gun, get it started, and just put a little bit of glue, and where we have our lines right there, I'm just gonna put my paws there. Let me cut out my coffee cup. And we're gonna attach that. Let's see here. I like that this cat is so cool. She's hip with the season. Getting her pumpkin spice latte with her cute scarf on. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first before I attach the other arm is I'm gonna take my double-sided fastener. So what I like to do is take one side, this side sticks to this side, so you flip it upside down, and then you peel the other side, so you get two sides that are sticky. So I'm gonna put one here for my cup. You can see they're really sticky. And then I'm gonna do one on the top of my swirl. Maybe I'll do one more on the cup to make sure they're nice and secure. Okay, so I have them all in place. So what I'm gonna do is get my cute little cup where I want to, and look what that does. See that? It allows it to stick off the page. So then I can take my other hand and attach it with the glue. Let's see here. I'm gonna put that hand there. And then we can just kind of bend them forward. So then it just kind of makes it look like she's holding the cup. Isn't that so cute? Oh my gosh, I love it. I always get too excited sometimes over little pieces of art. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna take this Copic white and I'm just gonna go and just put a little dot of it over the white of her eye. And then maybe I'll also just take it, look how cool that is, and do an extra little shimmer. Maybe I'll also do one on her nose. Maybe just add some little hair elements with that. Can put a little line of it on the cup. I love how this can just add like a little cute extra detail to the piece of art. Let's see here. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to make her a pair of glasses. So what I'm going to do is kind of just decide where her eyes are. I'm going to pinch that pipe cleaner in the middle, and let me see if I can make some glasses. I'm just going to turn this to the side. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. I'm going to do the same on this side. Let's see here if I can fit them. This might just be a little bit of a challenge. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. She's so cute in her fall attire. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab another pipe. Oh, I have one already. I'm gonna grab another pipe cleaner. I just need a little bit to do the sides of the glasses. I'm gonna cut it in half and then just attach it to the side of her glasses. So you just kind of want to put it through and pinch it over. And I'm going to do that again on this side. I'm going to put it through and just pinch it over. And then that gives me a cute little pair of glasses. Okay, you guys, I had to switch glue guns. You know, that's real life stuff there. Things happen. So I'm going to get my other glue gun and I'm just going to put some glue on either side of the eye. And what I'm going to do is place my glasses there. If you're using a glue gun, make sure you have a parent around helping you. Sometimes I use the back of a marker or something to help me kind of put it out, help me press it down so that way I don't burn my hand. So I'm going to do the same thing here and attach my glasses, and then I'll just make them kind of come down like that. Let's see, do the same thing over here. use my Sharpie marker to help me hold that down. And then bring my glasses down. And I may put one more spot right here. This side's popping up just a little bit. It's gonna help hold that down. All right, and then what I'm gonna do with my little pieces of cotton, I'm just gonna cut them and break them in half. And then what I'm gonna do is under my hand, to kind of leave it to be a little bit raised, I'm just gonna prop it with a little piece of cotton, because that's gonna give me the look I want. It's gonna make it look like my little cat is actually holding on to the coffee. In this hand here, I may just glue that one down. So it'll be one on the cup, one just a little bit raised up there. And then you can always go back and trim the little pieces of glasses. I'm gonna do that. And then what I'm gonna do before I finish my piece of art, one is I'm gonna sign it. So I want you guys to sign your piece of art too, because you're an artist. What I like to do is put the year. So I put a 25 for year 2025. So I'm sure your parents would love to just mark the time of when you do your piece of art. And then I'm just gonna go back in these little places where I put little stripes, and I'm just gonna add some little squiggles there with my pen. It's gonna make my little stripy areas come out just a little bit more. I have a little baby one there, and then one here. This is my favorite part at the end. I like to kind of just give my piece of art a good look over to see what else I want to add, any other little cute elements. Let's see. I think that's great. All right, you guys, got some little glue pieces there. The glue gun, they're notorious for leaving those little thin streaks. All right, you guys, here's our final product. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today as we do this cool, cozy fall cat. Tune in next week for another episode of Studio Creative Kids.
Meow.